Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Monkey Hero Adventures. If you watched the last video, you will notice that there was no audio, and I just realized this. 3 hours I spent this morning recording all that, and no audio. So what I will do is I will spend another 3 hours on another day, and I will go back through on the New Game Plus, and I will redo all of those instances and get all that audio. Hopefully we don't miss anything. I don't think we will. Um, and yeah, I'll go through all that again. I'm not sure if we'll get the credit scenes with audio or not. I hope we will. If not, yeah, I don't know what else to do on that. But I know we have audio now. I know it's working, and we're going to start our Bahamut raid series now. I have my friend Fen here. He's going to do level 90 and just blitz through the fights. But let's get the story going. There it is, Primal Awakening. When the scenery moon did wane, there sounded a blood-curdling roar. A new primal had roused. The portents gave us to believe, one whose identity yet lieth beyond our ken. By thy hand 3 primals have since been vanquished, and each returned to the aether. 'Twas observed that tremors foreshadowing this fourth grew in strength and frequency both. The being doth quicken, and in time it shall become a scourge upon the land. Yet, even as we pondered a course of action, a benevolent soul did arise, one who would forestall this threat. Though she be tender in years, she is true of heart and steadfast of resolve. She would solicit thine aid, if thou art willing to proffer it. Lest thou wonder, this maiden is of our order. Thus did the antecedent straightways consent that thou should assist her however thou mayest. As soon as thou art able, hie thee to Wineport, where thy petitioner doth await thee even now. Thou shalt for certain find her visage strikingly familiar. And on to Wineport we go. It's Alice. It has been a wild adventure. As I recall, my brother Alphino took the liberty of introducing us when first and last we met. But for the sake of propriety, Alice Levior, I thank you for coming. I've heard much and more of your exploits. By your hand the Black Wolf is slain and his ultimate weapon destroyed. You are possessed of great strength and courage. That much is plain. I shall have need of one such as you, if I am able to see my mission through to its conclusion. As you may be aware, the violence of Dalamud's fall changed not only the face of the realm, but also the base of the realm. Specifically, it played havoc with the etheric currents, creating vast confluences of ether below the surface. Among the other phenomenon, this led to the formation of the subterranean caverns at key points of stress. One such cavern lies beneath Castron Obsidians, and extends to only the gods know where. Despite appearances, Castrum Obsidians is as much a research facility as it is a fortress. Gaius van Belsar chose that site for no other reason than to probe the caverns without interference. As you went about vanquishing the returned primals, I observed a repeating wave pattern in the aether, corresponding exactly to the dates on which you were reported to have felled Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda. Upon closer examination, it became clear that these unique waveforms emanated from deep beneath the aforementioned stronghold. Crucially, I recorded the same pattern during the recent celebrations, and have since been given to understand that this phenomenon bears a disquieting similarity to one observed shortly prior to the calamity. 5 years ago, my grandfather invoked the power of the 12 that they might contain Bahamut. Alas, his efforts failed, and he vanished, together with his foe. I would know the truth of what transpired that day, of grandfather's fate, and of the metamorphosis that swept across the land. In casting light upon these mysteries, we may find a way to cure what ails this world. It is my belief that the answers I seek lie hidden in the depths of this cavern. I would have you accompany me on the expedition to find them, monkey. If truth be told, I am not wont to rely upon others, and have thus far handled matters alone. Yet I am not blind to my limitations. Unescorted, I cannot hope to succeed in this endeavor. I swore that I would find a way to restore peace to Eorzea. If you desire the self-same, then aid me, as you aided my brother and the Scions. I am in your debt. You are a man of action, and I sense that we will accomplish much together. But let us not waste any more time. As I mentioned, Castrum Osidon straddles the cavern I wish to explore. If I am to have hope of reaching it alive, I will need to infiltrate the stronghold first and locate a path into the depths. Once you have done so, pray report your success to Storm Private Jabroka. You may consider her my assistant here in Wineport. I have every faith that you will not fail me. 12 speed your way, monkey. Oh yes, and we can fly now, which is so nice. So much faster to get around. I don't have to deal with these chumps on the ground trying to mess with us. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I thought that was gonna work. I almost got that teleport off. He had to turn around, didn't he? I have been expecting you, monkey. By your coming, I take it you have successfully located the cavern entrance inside Castrum Osidon's. So that's where it's to be found. Marvelous. Oh, but allow me to properly introduce myself. Jabroka is my name, and it's my honor to serve Lady Alizé, though, for reasons of convenience, at present I also serve the Maelstrom. This uniform accords me certain privileges, you see. In particular, ready access to the Maelstrom's regional scouting reports. They provide a wealth of local knowledge, including information on secret passages. But enough about me. I shall notify Lady Alizé of your discovery, that she may prepare for the expedition. Though I don't doubt your abilities, none can say what dangers lurk beneath Castrum Osidon's. For my lady's sake, as well as your own, please spare neither preparation nor caution. Pray choose your companions well. Alright, it says the duty finder has been blinding coil now accessible. So we are going to we're going to party members. I'm sorry. We're going to ready check, make sure oh my goodness. We're going to make sure that our buddy is ready. And we are going to, oh my goodness, come on. Make sure our duty finder is set to unrestricted, and here we go. The scars left by the calamity. I can scarce breathe for the surfeit of ether. Tell me, have you ever seen corrupted crystals such as these? Such crystals manifest across the realm when the course of a great river of aether was irrevocably altered 5 years ago. Behold, one of the objects that caused that alteration, a fragment of the lesser moon Dalamud. Ancient Allig created Dalamud, or Meteor, to use a Garlean name, to serve as a celestial prison for Bahamut. Its fall inflicted grievous wounds upon the land, wounds that have yet to heal, as is evident from the corrupted crystals. Amazing. Dalamud's internal defenses still function in spite of everything, a testament to the ingenuity of the Alligans. The Garleans seek to appropriate their advanced technology, I am certain of it. We are about to come face to face with secrets that have long lain buried within the sands of time. Great dangers may lie beyond, but we have come too far to turn back. The truth of the calamity is within reach. Gods preserve. Dark wings that would engulf the very heavens. These could only belong to Bahamut, the primal who laid Eorzea to waste 5 years ago. At Cartano, my grandfather sought to imprison Bahamut anew by invoking the power of the 12. Alas, the dreadworm proved too powerful, and he soon broke free of his confines. Yet instead of resuming the destruction he had begun, Bahamut vanished, whither to no one knew, until this day. But I do not understand. If Bahamut is truly a primal, how is it that he retains his physical form? Did Grandfather defeat him, or is there some other explanation? We must press on if we are to learn the truth. Do remember I'm doing this with the level 90. Again, we are blitzing through the fights because we're here just for the story. This one doesn't give any rewards or anything anymore. I don't even know if there's story to it or anything, but I'll show it anyway. I can't remember. So they took a lot of stuff away because people were just skipping past everything, even without being under or over leveled. And just like that, 3 is done. It appears there's really only story on maybe 1 and 5, now that I think about it. Interesting. This is the elevator level. And we have made it to the bottom, to the 5th and final floor. That is Bahamut's hand. He's quite large. This is going rather smoothly than I expected. It is indeed convenient to have a hero on hand. Gods, that the cavern should open up again, even at this depth. Huh! This resembles a finger. And so it should. This is Bahamut's hand. As with the wings, it seems to be frozen, and that I could count my blessings, but again I find myself wondering, how is it able to retain physical form? I had assumed that Bahamut's reversion to Aether was the cause of the widespread changes of the realm, but if he is still here, then that theory no longer holds. What was it, then, that brought about the realm's sudden regeneration? There's still so much we do not know about Cartano. I haven't the slightest inkling how deep these caverns run, but we must continue. this contraption. It is used to control the saturation of ether. I suppose there's only one way to find out. The dragon you vanquished earlier, doubtless you noticed that peculiar contraption about its neck. It was likely a receptor of some description used to enslave the creature. Ancient Aleg possessed the means to control dragons, it would seem. The Ishgardians would kill for this knowledge, though, to be sure, it could as easily be brought to bear against them. An army of dragons could turn the tide of any battle, as the Garleans once learned to their sorrow. I would not be the least bit surprised if they now sought to exploit this power. Whatever their plans, this serves as another reminder of the might of the Allegans. One cannot help but wonder how so advanced a civilization came to fall. Gods be good. This is Bahamut's head. And that enormous crystal, it pulsates as if it was our heart. Then the primal that had awakened, was Bahamut all this time? No. No. This cannot be true. This would mean that grandfather died for naught? Confound it. We do not know enough to strike it down now. We must withdraw. Who is that? No, it can't be. Grandfather, is that truly you? No, don't leave me again, please. Grandfather! I know. We can do no more for now. But this looks like... How did we come to be in northern Thanlin of all places? Oh, but such details matter little. Grandfather's alive, monkey. Bahamut did not defeat him. But why won't he return to us? I don't understand. This expedition has yielded more questions than it did answers. At any rate, we wouldn't both be better for a rest. Let us return to the waking sands and reflect upon what we've seen. Thank you, Monkey. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Full glad that I am for thy safe return. Lady Alice has appraised me of the many experiences. As thou wilt doubtless be aware, Master Louis Soir was my lady's grandsire. Gravely concerned was I for her safety, but 'twould seem I need not have been so. With all my heart I do thank thee for watching over her. But come, thou must speak with Mistress Alice upon which it has transpired within the binding coil. May it serve to bring us closer to the truth of the calamity. Shall we begin then, Urianger? I understand you have a report of your own to share with us. Aye, my lady. Even though thou did emerge from the depths of an etheric disturbance betokening primal activity was observed. In Mordona was it marked first. By comparison of time and magnitude, we have since deduced its origin, the Carteneau Flats. Strange. There have been no reports of primal activity in that region. It could only have been Bahamut. That would certainly explain how we have come to be in northern Thanolin. Somehow the cavern took us all the way from Vilbren to the heart of Aldenard. 'Twould seem so, my lady. It's all but certain, then. After Bahamut disappeared 5 years ago, he hid himself deep beneath Carteneau, and has since laid dormant, regenerating. Aye, my lady. Taken together with thine own account of Bahamut's continued presence, the land's slowness to heal and the disorder of the etheric currents do point to one conclusion. Bahamut stirreth. If left unchecked, the primal shall drink of Eorzea's life force until doth waken to rain ruin upon the land. Rest assured, I do not mean to give up, Monkey. Bahamut may still live, but so too does Grandfather. For the past 5 years, he has been keeping vigil over his nemesis, making certain that the primal does not escape. Master Louis Soir does yet live? I durst not hope. And thou art certain 'twas no mere manifestation of thine all too sorely felt grief. I know how desperate this might sound, Urianger, but I saw him with my own 2 eyes, as did Monkey. But he vanished deeper into the labyrinth before we could have a chance to speak. 2 more like fragments of Dalamon pierced the earth when the lesser moon fell. One we have seen. If we can find but the other 2, I am certain we will find Grandfather as well. If thou so believe this, my lady, then I shall too have faith. If it please you, I shall notify the grand companies of this development. All Eorzea must stand united if we are to avert a repeat of the calamity. That will not be necessary, Urianger. Being the great conciliator that he is, Alphino will speak to unite Eorzea in his own accord. If the rumors are true, that endeavor is already well underway. So let us leave the diplomacy to the diplomat, while we continue our investigation of Bahamut. I swear to you, no matter what it takes, we will find my grandfather and uncover the whole truth of the calamity. Monkey, you have heard me swear to do these things, but without your strength, I cannot help to make good on my word. The danger to Eorzea is not past. For the sake of all who abide here, I pray that you will ever be our sword in the darkness. All right, another turn in the coil. A crystal choke abyss lieth beneath the Cartno flats, the unholy cradle of an elder primal, and by thy hand where truth great and terrible rested from those once celestial depths. Yet, as is oft the case, an answer doth breed a profusion of questions, and the unknown doth beckon with irresistible allure. Ne'er had the mysteries of the red moon lay so neatly within our grasp. Lady Alice has sent word of her coming. 'Tis time once more to brave the precipice and leap unflinching into the jagged wound that doth gape beneath the land. Mine apologies. I trust I have not kept you waiting overlong. Monkey, I am both delighted and reassured to have you at my side once more. I would not waste your time with trivialities. Let us proceed directly to the discussion of what we have learned, and that which we hope to learn anon. Initially, it was evidence of a new primal that led us to delve into the cavern beneath Castrum Sidins, and to explore the subterranean scars it left after the fall of Dalamud. As you will recall, what we have found was a vast, largely intact fragment of the fallen satellite, and within the depths of that structure, we discovered not the new primal we had expected, but the broken form of Bahamut himself. Yet, even this great revelation would soon be overshadowed by the appearance of my own dear grandfather. I had since shared our sundry findings with the Ramboros, preeminent scholars of the sons of St. Coinac, and he, in turn, did kindly furnish me with a theory concerning the elder primal's Allegan prison. 'Twould seem that Dalamud was constructed to gather up itself the rays of the sun, and thence channel this radiant bounty unto the crystal tower. The ancients saw great potential in Bahamut's capacity to manipulate energies of otherwise unimaginable magnitude. 'Twas for this reason that they did bind him with the red moon to serve as its living core. Do you remember the sight that greeted us at the culmination of our journey? The colossal devices that surrounded and seemed to cradle the incomplete form of the elder primal? From the information provided from the sons of St. Coinac, we have learned that these contraptions were termed internment hulks, and that each bore the designation Ragnarok class. The purpose of these hulks is believed to be twofold. First, they are meant to act as binding coils, rendering Bahamut incapable of escape. And second, they are meant to feed him. Perversely, the selfsame energy that prevents him from moving also serves to sustain his corporeal manifestation. Bahamut is permitted neither to die nor to truly live. He is merely allowed to be. For centuries upon centuries was the elder primal thus imprisoned, bound about in fetters so subtle in their working, and yet so adamant, that though his cell may be destroyed, Bahamut lieth at the mercy of his long-departed captors. It is long held that the primals require the prayers of their faithful followers to exist, yet none alive worship Bahamut. Could it be, then, that the Allegans found a way to simulate prayer itself? It seems the only logical explanation. I would postulate, therefore, that the regenerative mechanisms in question also supply something akin to the power of prayer. Consequently, it is all of the internment hulks were to be rendered inactive, Bahamut should dissolve into the aether. Upon the evidence of thy previous foray, we determine that the elder primal is sustained by 3 such binding coils. Thus do we commence to scour the realm, and found in the 12's wood a yet unexplored fragment of the lesser moon, bearing a most familiar etheric signature. After conducting a preliminary investigation, we believe we have discovered a point which this north shroud fragment and the second of the internment hulks can be entered. As Eorzea's sword in the darkness, I would have you once more lead the charge. I will, of course, be there at your side. Once you have made your preparations, head to Falgord Flout, and make yourself known to my assistant, Serpent Lieutenant Anel. The fallen fragment is not far from the settlement, and her position provides a convenient rendezvous point. I will break these Allegan fetters, for they bind my grandfather as surely as they bind Bahamut. Monkey Hero, I've been expecting you. My name is Anel. I have been accorded the rank of lieutenant with the Order of the Twin Adder, and I may be better assist Lady Alice with her endeavors here in the Twelveswood. Such authority has allowed me to act without interference from the local soldiery and to conduct a preliminary investigation of the Alder Springs fragment. From what we have seen of the exterior, the structure shares many common features with the one you explored in Lenosha, and likely plays host to a similar complement of guardians. But I fear words alone will not do little to prepare you for what lies ahead. Pray seek out my comrade to the south and west. He is charged with observing all that occurs in the vicinity of the fragment, and he will be placed to show you the thing, if nothing less. What business brings you to this broken land? Unless you fancy being ground to a bloody pulp under the granite fists of Wonder Golem, I suggest you bugger... Oh, my apologies, sir. Lady Alice did send word of your impending arrival, but 'twould seem I grown rather too accustomed of shooing away curious sellswords and reckless explorers. Behold, if you will, one of the fallen shards of the Red Moon Dalamud. Our initial survey uncovered no evidence of the Empire's presence, which, while fortunate in itself, meant that the approach to the fragment had yet to be cleared. After much effort, however, we succeeded in carving out a semblance of the path which should grant you access to the entrance, and that, I'm afraid, is where our progress ended. The interior? Well, assuming that the architecture of this hulk resembles the first, the master controls you seek will be located at the bottommost layer, past all the ingenious and deadly defenses of which the ancient Allagans seemed to be so incredibly fond. If you would know more, I'm afraid there is nothing for it but be brave the depths of the fragment yourself. Lady Alice will be arriving at Falgord. Pray, do not tarry on your way back to the lieutenant's post. I imagine our young mistress will be most eager to commence the expedition. The road ahead promises peril aplenty, and I would humbly suggest that this is not the occasion to stint on preparation or provisions. May the 12 watch over you. Master Hero, I trust the private's explanations was worth the journey? Simply securing an approach to the fragment's entrance proved a monumental task. I dare not think what defeating its inner defenses will entail. If there is aught I might do to aid you... Ah, Lady Al... Oh, my apologies, Master Alphino. Has there been a change of plan? Urianger informed me of the impending expedition. I merely came to exchange a few words with my fellow scion before he disappeared into the depths of the second coil. Monkey, though I would strenuously deny, if she were present, my sister's admiration and affection for our grandsire exceeds even my own. Upon the matter of his legacy, therefore, Alice is wont to go above and beyond the call of duty. In our grandfather's absence, she has made the salvation of Eorzea her personal crusade. 'Twas that which prompted her to brave the perils of the first coil. Yet the fact that she risks her life in this manner is not the greatest of my concerns. No, it is her subsequent fixation on my grandfather's shade that worries me. The quest to rid the world of Bahamut must not become a quest to save a man long dead. My sister must needs have a better reason to fight. A time will come when the fate of the realm rests upon our shoulders, and when it does, we must be strong in our resolve, and certain of the stakes of which we risk all. There is a wide difference between fighting for the good of Eorzea and fighting for the love of a man who died for the good of Eorzea. Alice must choose her own path. She cannot rely on grandfather to choose it for her, for he is gone. I am glad that that is you with whom she makes a journey. If Alizé is to discover a deeper purpose, then where better to find one than at the side of Eorzea's greatest champion? 'Twas there that I found mine, after all. But 'tis past time I was gone. Fair fortune in your endeavors, monkey. Ah, Lieutenant Linnell, was it? I would appreciate you making no mention of my presence here to my sister. Lady Alizé is due to arrive any moment. I shall abide in confident expectation of your triumphant return. How strange. Why could we not see all this before? I suppose it's only to be expected that corrupted crystals should accompany a disturbance of this magnitude. After all, the fragment likely pierced the ground to a depth of many hundreds of yalms. The swirling aether leaking from the wound must warp the very air, creating a veil that hides these formations from view. Well, it's not as if we expected this to be a straightforward task. Let's tread carefully, shall we, monkey? 'Tis imperative that we win through the depths of this structure and disable the mechanism that powers Bahamut's regeneration. Of course, if we should chance to encounter my grandfather upon the way, I shall not let him go again, not while there is hope that he may yet be saved. But mayhap we should put such thoughts from our minds until after we have successfully gained entrance to the place. That opening up ahead appears to be a suitable point of ingress. My favorite. That armor. No, it couldn't be. Be on your guard, monkey. Though it defies all reason that he should live, I know of only one who wears such armor. He whom the Empire raised as high as the Black Wolf himself, the legatus of the 7th Legion. I speak of the madman who brought the Meteor Project to fruition. We face the White Raven, Nail Van Darnus, harbinger of the 7th Umbral Era. Nail Van Darnus. Ah, that was the name of the fool who perished upon the eve of the promised age of glory. It should not be uttered within these hallowed halls. Out of love for his loyal servant, the one true deity named me Nail Deus Darnus. The one true deity? Bahamut? He speaks of Bahamut. O Lord Bahamut, thy name is as sweet as water to parched lips. How my heart swells at thy sacred touch. This blessed sanctum is the domain of my God and his beloved children. Seek to defile its glory, and you will answer to me. How is this possible? From what Alphino told me, Nail was slain on the eve of the calamity. Whatever the truth of the matter, we must be on our guard. There can be no reasoning with the worshippers of a primal. Alrighty, going on to number 3. Alrighty, let's see here. Just checking something. Alright. I am reminded of the passage beneath Catherine Obsidians. We must have traveled quite some distance below the surface. More of the same tunnels. 12s would be good. Surely it cannot continue all the way down from the upper floors. 'Tis difficult to see inside, but I have a terrible feeling these corridors house more dreadful guardians than you have faced already. It is said that the Alligans excelled in the creation of chimerical beasts, and that the Red Moon teemed with 1,000 fantastical monstrosities, all to prevent the enemies of ancient empire from releasing the Elder Primal. I wonder, the creatures that prowl these halls, could they be the beloved children which Nail spoke? Yet, if this is yet another mystery to ponder upon our return, shall we continue onwards? Luckily I've done this enough where I know where to go. Oh boy. Okay, where might get somebody else? Let's see. Looks like Owl is not there. Let's see here. That's much better. That surely cannot be Dalamud. How? Where are we? The final resting place of Nail Van Darnus. This is a grave for the undeserving. And for the crime of trespassing upon my God's sanctuary, this place shall serve as your grave too. No! In the hour of his failure, Nail Van Darnus felt the currents of aether began to bear away his essence. But before oblivion could claim the last of him, a divine will reached out, and I was born. Then did the words of my God resound in my ears. Bring unto mine enemies crushing defeat, that they might know despair without end, and claim thee thus the victory which thou wert once denied. Twould seem that little remained of Nail's essence when Bahamut plucked him from the brink of oblivion. As a result was this strange simulacrum. Nevertheless, her aura beseeks great power. She channels the rage of the Elder Primal herself. Lord Bahamut, thy wish is my command. None shall scape thine unquenchable fury. Come, ye dull, unthinking beasts, bare your teeth. They will avail you not in the calamity to come. And now it's all on him. Poor creature, would that you had never been born. You had surrendered your physical form and collapsed into ether. Bahamut denied your death, and imprisoned what little left of you in an ethereal shell resembling what, I wonder? Images from your memory, perhaps. But that shell is now broken, and your primal deity seems disinclined to sustain your existence. My primal deity? I kneel to no icon. What need have I to beg the favor of such filth? I am Nael Van Darnus, legatus of the 7th Legion. No. A moment. My thoughts are clouded. This body is not my own. Could it be that you spoke the truth? Was I ensorcelled by the Lesser Moon's ancient prisoner? That will not happen again. You speak as if Bahamut no longer controlled you. But that's impossible. Once a primal ensnares a mind, it cannot be freed. Unless Bahamut simply relinquished his claim. What need has he of a broken spirit bound for the eternal realm? Ethereal realm, sorry. Oh, that I should fall prey to the very influence I sought to purge from the land. The irony is galling. But do not assume that all my actions were chosen for me. It was my will that the Meteor Project be resurrected. Mine and none other. Yet it seems that my grand designs were destined to fail. Even the ungentle release of death was denied me. Nael, please, you must tell us more of the calamity. I must know the truth of what befell in the world, and what has become my grandfather, Archon Louisoix. You are Louisoix's grandchild. Ah, the fates are generous with their cruelty. Continue on if you would have your answers. They await you at the terminus of your path. But know that this path leads only to despair. The light of truth was ever harsh and unforgiving. Why do you say this? Grandfather will be freed once we put a stop to Bahamut's restoration, will he not? What are you not telling us? Steel yourself, child. Only unbending resolve and merciless strength can conquer what lies ahead. The weak can do naught but weep under the pall of their own misery, as did the frail child I once was. Silence, chattering raven. You wretched wings are broken, and you shall soar no more. My crimson moon, your brilliance sears my eyes. I recognize that voice, monkey, but never would he say such words. Come, let us finish what we came to do. All will be put right when the final hulk lies dormant. Grandfather will be himself again, I am sure of it. Bahamut regenerates more swiftly than I anticipated. Let us hope that disabling this coil will slow the process. The display seems different, but the controls appear to mimic the mechanism we found in Lenosian Hulk. It shouldn't pose a problem. Monkey, forgive me. The moment I beheld Nail's transformation, hope wilted in my heart. I did not believe you could stand against the manifestation of Bahamut's power. For all your fabled strength and skill, I felt certain that I was going to lose you, just as I lost grandfather. Even he, a man for whom naught seemed impossible, was humbled before Bahamut's might. And yet, look how far we've come. 'Tis incredible the feats we're capable, our boundless potential. 'Twas this capability of greatness, I believe, that grandfather so dearly wished to protect. With all that has occurred, I have come to understand that much at least. "'Tis done. Shall we make our way back to the surface and gather our thoughts? We have seen much that will benefit from Urianger's learned perspective." "Grandfather, it is you. Then why?" "Abandon this quest, Alice. It will not countenance further sabotage of the coils. I will not." "Sabotage? But we must disable the coils if we're to prevent Bahamut's revival." "Your defiance seals your fate." "No. No, you are not who I thought you were. My grandfather would never." "Foolish girl. How could the White Raven allow herself to be bested by such a sniveling opponents?" "Listen well. We all exist at the pleasure of one divine will, and the word of Lord Bahamut is absolute." "Scurry back to your holes, vermin. You have been granted this one reprieve, but should you be foolish as to crawl into my lord's domain again, I will crush the life from you myself." "That light in grandfather's eyes. He's suffered the same fate as Nail." "My grandsire is no more. That was naught but a phantom that profanes his noble memory." "This mockery must be expunged. I will not rest until I free grandfather's soul from Bahamut's tyranny." "Do you hear me, Bahamut? Your time is at an end. Eorzea and my family will be avenged." "Truly it is a wonderful to escape that stifling air and return to northern Thanlin again, it would appear. I must thank you, Monkey. Were it not for your bravery, I strongly doubt that I would be standing here now. Ah, but you need not tarry on my account. The danger is past. Pray go ahead and appraise Urianger of all that has occurred. I will join you anon. My thoughts are yet unruly, and I would rest here awhile." Actually, we need to go to Mordona and spend these poetics before they cap. The triumphant hero doth return. Thine eyes speak of the dread task's completion. The second coil now lieth dormant. Yet I sense the tidings thou bearest are not altogether glad. Pray tell me what ill hath cast the shadow which falleth across thy brow. An old foe and an old friend. So 'twas but an ethereal shadow of Master Louis Soix that Alice beheld, an unnatural conjuration in thrall to the elder primal. That the fiend should deign to choose him of all men, even in full knowledge of the shade's true nature. I would be hard pressed to weather such a confrontation. Yet what agonies must the young mistress have endured! Such torment did she ne'er deserve. Mayhap 'twere better if Lady Alice did absent herself from future forays into the coils. I have come too far to surrender to grief, Urianger. My lady, I am resolved to defeat these fiends, and naught shall sway me from my path. Now, let us peer more deeply into the well of our discoveries. As you wish, my lady. By your leave, I would speak first of the coil's late guardian, Nail Van Darnus. Van Darnus was a legatus of the Garlean Empire who strove to bring about Eorzea's final destruction, only to fall even as the sixth sun did set. If thou hast heard tales of the White Raven, then it is he of whom they speak. Aye, he, I say, for Nail was for certainly no maid. The noble house Van Darnus, as we discovered all too late, had long safeguarded the wisdom of ancient Alleg. 'Twas thus that the legatus came to learn the true nature of Dalamud, and to seek to employ the red moon as a weapon against Eorzea. But the crystal tower and the mechanisms required to command the satellite yet lay hidden beneath the ground, compelling Nail to construct a far less subtle mechanism. and in his first faltering attempts to communicate with Dalamud, he did likely rouse the satellite's slumbering prisoner. Thenceforth did the White Raven's soul belong to Bahamut. He was fortunate indeed to acquire such powerful a thrall by chance. 'Tis little wonder he was so loath to part with him. Why let a simple thing like death deprive one of such useful a pawn? Though we may accuse him of bungling Van Darnus's resurrection, I dare say Bahamut was as content to have a handmaiden as a manservant. I only hope that the two thralls we encountered were the extent of his flock. Yet I cannot help but dwell on Nail's words, those beloved children of whom he spoke. I assumed at first that he referred to the moon's beastly guardians, but should Bahamut have enslaved other mortals, we must needs remove this source of worship. Otherwise, our efforts to disable the coils shall be for naught. Forgive mine indelicacy, my lady. Thou art wise indeed to speak of expunging the primal's thralls, but can thou truly pursue a course which would cost thee thy own grandsire? My heart and mind are as one on this matter. Grandfather's salvation can be won but by a single method, the destruction of Bahamut, and aught that might serve to sustain him. Monkey, while Urianger and I endeavor to ascertain the existence of any further thralls, I suggest you grant yourself a moment's respite. Rest assured that I will contact you the moment I have need of your inimitable talents. That we have achieved so much I owe to you. I fear, however, that our trials have barely begun. Though time had dulled the pain by the passing, I find that I am wounded afresh. Master Louisoix, what good shall come of this unending search for knowledge and truth? Long have I believed the pursuit of such treasures to be the duty of every true Charlian. Yet, when each new revelation serveth only to heap further anguish upon those whom we would fain protect, we must truly reach for more. So you have found your resolve, dear sister. Will you now find a use for the secret, for the key that only you and I hold? Given our familiar propensity for curiosity, you would do well to remember that keys may serve to seal doors as well as unlock them, and Bahamut a most unwelcome guest, to whom the door should never have been opened. Fragments of truth. Man is wont to cast light wherever secrets lie hidden in the darkness. Though that which he illuminateth seldom bringeth him joy, so it is such unhappy truths as Bahamut's immense shadow doth conceal. Yet ever onward forgeth Mistress Alice, undeterred by the burden of knowledge that weigheth heavy on her heart. 'Tis a perilous path she has chosen, and a painful one. I prithee, Monkey, remain by her side as valiant blade, that she might see her quest to its conclusion. Monkey, is it well that you are here? It is well that you are here. My lady, how may I serve you today? I have met with some difficulty in my mission, Urianger, and I should be grateful for your counsel. As you know, Bahamut's physical form is regenerating beneath the Cartno Flats even as we speak. If we are to prevent his return, we must needs disable the 2 remaining internment hulks that sustain him. Every moment our mission is delayed, the realm is pushed closer to the brink of destruction. Alas, though I have determined the locations of the fragments of Dalamud leading to the hulks, I have been unable to find a way to enter them. And gaining admittance into is the first step in your perilous undertaking. When last thou descended into Bahamut's subterranean fastness, thou'st discovered, did thou'st not, the dread primal had bound the shade of Nail Van Darnus unto his will. And though thou didst consign the fallen legatus to blessed oblivion, thou may recallest that the piteous wretch was not alone. Doubt not but that Bahamut's other thralls seek to hinder thy passage. You can say his name, Urianger. I have not forgotten that my grandfather is waiting for us. My lady, I would remind you, as I must oft remind myself, the man whom we both loved and revered is no more. What remaineth is but a shade which defiled his memory. The vile verbiage that spilleth from his lips must not be heeded, for it cometh not from your grandsire, but from Bahamut himself. You need not worry, Urianger. Come what may, I will not stray from the course. I will not let grandfather's sacrifice be in vain. But mere words will not take us whither we need to go. All I said, I have been unable to find a way to enter the fragments of Dalamud. My lady, might I suggest you visit the fragments again in Monkey's company? Full off half the worry of light set events in motion by virtue of his presence alone. 'Tis possible that he may do so again. I, the while, shall search for answers of my own. But, our efforts combined, full sure I am that path shall be revealed to us ere long. Were it anyone else, I should question the wisdom of such advice, yet I cannot deny that what you say about Monkey is true. Very well, I should do as you suggest. Assuming you have no objections, of course. Good. Now we seek entry into the 2 fragments of Dalamud. One lies at the Burning Wall in eastern Thanalan, and the other at the Singing Shards in Mordona. I left an assistant at each location with instructions to continue searching for a means of ingress. It is not impossible that they could since have found something useful to us. Let us begin by visiting my man at the Burning Wall. Dex, I think it was. And off to eastern Thanalan we go. I say, are you not Master Hero, my lady's most faithful companion? Sinnes, sir, at your service. And may I say what an honor it is to meet you. How goes the survey, Dex? My lady, it shames me to say that I have found no viable path to the fragment. Though it stands there before our very eyes, the way thither has thus far proven impassable. When the fragment fell and pierced the land, it caused a prodigious amount of aether to spew forth. 'Twas that this gave rise to the land's twisted lay, which seemed destined to thwart our efforts. Even were an opening to exist, I fear that we would struggle to reach it. We cannot give up. Keep trying. So near and yet so far. Well, it avails us not to stand here and stare at the thing. Let us away to Mordona to try the other fragment. Perhaps Sinnes has fared better. Upon that note, my lady, there is something I must tell you. I'm sorry to report that I lost contact with my brother just over a bell ago. As you know, the Singing Shards are home to many fell creatures, ogres among them. While I do not wish to cause you undue alarm, I fear something unspeakable may have happened to Dex. Wait, why didn't you... Give me strength. We must hurry to my assistant's aids, Monkey. Thank you, adventurer. For a moment there I feared my bones were going to be ground up and used to bake bread. I am relieved to see that you were unharmed. It was wrong of me to press such a dangerous task upon you. My lady, your worries are wasted on me. 'Twas nothing at all, I assure you. If you please, I shall report on my findings. As you can see, through the tip of the fragment is exposed, the rest is encased in rock and crystal, rendering it impossible to enter the structure. We might try excavating the area around the fragment, but that is like to take some time, and there really is no telling how deep we may need to dig before we find a suitable point of ingress. As such, I am forced to conclude that gaining entry to this fragment is unrealistic. Forgive me, my lady. Confound it. We are losing precious time. What are we to do now? 'Tis I, Urianger. Glad tidings, for I have thee and my lady. For a blessing, a way hath been found which may enter the remaining fragments of Dalamud. Pray escort Mistress Alice to the central processing plant in northern Thanlin. There all shall be made clear. Urianger has found a way. Then we must go to him at once. Mine apologies for summoning you thus far from afar, my lady, but 'tis here that your journey may finally begin. I did wonder. To my knowledge, there are no fragments in northern Thanlin. You are mistaken, my lady. Yet a pathway does exist, one which you yourself have made use of in the past. At the conclusion of your several forays into the binding coil, it was at the crystal formation which lieth to the north of this place that you did emerge, was it not? Yes. An ethereal stream bore us back to the surface. That much I had surmised. Are you suggesting we can use it to return underground? And even if that were possible, would it simply not bear us back to those places we've already explored? It need not, my lady. Pray allow me to explain. Upon the evidence of your experience, it seemed plain that two interment hulks may share the selfsame ethereal egress. From this, we did infer that the others may connect in a likewise. Thus did we labor long to verify the existence of further tributaries to the selfsame stream, in which task we were at length successful. 'Twas then but a matter of arriving at a solution to the problem of traveling to an unattuned destination, that one might reach what we call the headwater. We propose to employ a modified aetherite, which serveth to amplify such ripples as do originate from said source. By focusing one's essence upon these ripples, it should be possible to make the journey. Yet be fair warned, my lady, as with all untried modes of ethereal travel, this method entaileth considerable danger. Merely to attempt the voyage could cost you your life. That is the risk I am willing to take. You are brilliant, Urianger. But I am curious. Did you have assistance in forming this plan? I cannot help but noticing your repeated use of the word we, unless you have taken to using the majestic plural in our absence. Nay, my lady. As you have correctly surmised, I was not alone in this endeavor. Meaning there are others who are aware of our mission. Well, it cannot be helped now. Preventing Bahamut's return is what matters. If some secrecy must be sacrificed to achieve our goal, then so be it. So that must be the modified aetheryte. But what are the immortal flames doing here? Those men may be sworn flames of Ul'dah. They are first and foremost faithful retainers of the house Levior. Alphino, so it was you that was helping Urianger. Who else could it have been, dear sister? Lest you worry, I have no intention of making the details of your venture public. Like you, I would prefer to avoid causing a panic. But given which this is at stake, namely the survival of the realm, one must be willing to accept help when it is offered. Would you not agree? At the very least, do not be cross with Urianger. 'Twas at my behest that he kept silent. We will speak later. Pray forgive me, my lady, but knowing full well your intent, I judged it meet that Master Alphino be informed. Though your grandsire hath become Bahamut's thrall, his noble blood courseth yet through both your veins, and if he must be needs struck down. Did you hear that, Alphino? I mean to strike down grandfather, and when I have done so, I shall banish Bahamut to the aether. Nothing you say will sway me from my course. I will protect Eorzea, and I will uphold grandfather's legacy. Grandfather's legacy? So you still do not know what you yourself desire. Your actions are still driven by borrowed resolve. Borrowed resolve? What does that have to do with anything? Protecting Eorzea was grandfather's goal, and we made it ours, both of us. That is why we came here, unless you've forgotten. Gods forbid I should ever forget, Alice, but you misunderstand. I do not question your resolve, only whence it came. If it were your own, you would be able to tell me precisely why you desire so fervently to protect Eorzea. Yet you cannot, for it is not your resolve, but grandfather's. You may struggle to see the difference, but borrowed resolve shall never be as strong as that which springs forth from within. But let us speak of this another time. For now, preventing Bahamut's return is all that matters. To be plain, I have no objective in striking down whatever is left of grandfather. Know, however, that I will be accompanying you this time. As a son of House Levior, I will be present for his final moments. Very well. You may join us, on one condition. I make the decisions. If it pleases milady, the name's Urkarad. Our preparations are just about complete. When you're ready to embark on your mission, just give the word. I'll be waiting for you at the cerulean processing plant. Pay no heed to my brother. You can rely on me. We've come far together, you and I, and together we shall see our journey to its end. I've been waiting for you, Master Hero. I'm pleased to say that Aetherite's primed and ready. As you know, the remaining interment hulks are connected to the fragments in Easter Thanolin and Mordona. It is to the former that we'll be sending you first. Now, you'll be starting inside the hulk, meaning you won't have to cover so much ground. The drawback being that you'll be fighting for your life from the moment you get there. Best be prepared for anything, for milady's sake, if not your own. And that's about all I can tell you. When your preparations are in order, just give the word, and I'll send you on your way. I may even throw a prayer in for your speedy return, just to be on the safe side. I think he went to use the potty. which is fine. It should give me a chance to sell off some of this stuff real quick. So this is how it looks on the inside. This is Interment Hulk still functions. The teleportation was a success. We have come to the right place. There's no telling how much further Bahamut has regenerated since we last beheld him. Let us make haste to the main bridge and deactivate the coil. There were receptacles similar to these in the previous Hulk. Those held chimerical beasts, but only the Allagans know which other abominations may be sleeping within. Then well may be part of Dalamud's internal defenses. We must stay on guard at all times. By the 12 dragons, and so many. We were aware that the Alligans possessed the means to control the creatures, but to imprison them thus is barbaric. I would not wish such a fate on my worst enemy. 'Tis plain that no love was lost between the Alligans and the dragons, but was it truly necessary to keep such a great number here? Dalamud did not want for defenses. This we have experienced firsthand. Such guardians of the Alligans created, both living and unliving, were surely no less capable of repelling intruders than these poor creatures. Tell me something, Alice. Have you not managed to determine by whose will Bahamut exists? No, I have not. At first I assumed that Bahamut had no people of his own, that the Alligans had perchance discovered a way to simulate prayer itself. However, Nail's words gave me cause to reconsider, specifically the Shade's mention of Bahamut's beloved children. From that, I inferred that the primal is given form by the will of worshippers, for whom we have yet to... Oh. God strike me down for a blind fool. Bahamut's beloved children right there before my very own eyes. How could I have been so stupid? Who else but the dragons of Eld would summon Bahamut? Who else but they could sustain him? And to think I wondered why the Alligans kept them imprisoned here. Even should the flame of Bahamut's life go out, his faithful children would summon him back. For this reason, the Allagan Empire kept an army of dragons here in a perpetual state of duress, that they might sustain the primal's existence. Truly, the Allagans' ingenuity knew no bounds, and neither did their cruelty. Small wonder that Bahamut was so enraged. Let no one deny that it was man who sowed the seeds of the calamity. Will you now turn your hatred towards our own kind, dear sister? Do not patronize me, Alphino. I merely acknowledge our guilt. Lest you be in any doubt, I have no intention of allowing Bahamut to lay the world to waste, regardless of the atrocities the Allagans committed against his kind. We have no choice but to eliminate all who worshipped him, be they his children or his thralls. It seems reasonable to assume that the system responsible for the primal's regeneration is also responsible for sustaining the captive dragons. If we disable it, all shall perish. Let us press on. He's got to go get the other side now. Okay, I did not know he would go through that wall. This is also a pain in the ass, this fight. Why does this look like a model of Dalamud? Yes. For millennia, Bahamut must have gazed at this unchanging view. Trapped inside a prison that was scarcely large enough to contain him, unable to move, denied the release of death. How this hatred for man must have burned. And that hatred found an ideal vessel in Nail Van Darnus. In many ways, Bahamut is being pitied, not loathed. But knowing the true extent of his fury, I am more convinced than ever that the necessity of our endeavor. Besides, his is not the only soul that cries out for vengeance. Almost done. 2 more to go. Yes, let's not do that again. And the Phoenix is down.
some food.
Well, let's finish it then. That's why Luis Suarez the OG, man. 1v1 Bahamut. And here we are again. After that descent into darkness, the desolation of northern Thanalan seems paradisial. As promised, I shan't reveal the truth of the calamity to a single soul. However, the nations of Eorzea require certain assurances that the threat of a new primal is gone. Kept in the dark overlong, 'tis only a matter of time before they seek answers of their own accord. Let us recommend that the fragments of Dalamud are sealed off, and that the truth may rest undisturbed. But first, we must go and report Urianger. It would do not to keep him in suspense. I dare say we shall find him pacing up and down the cerulean processing plant. Ah, warrior of light returned, undimmed from the depths of darkness. By the triumph bearing, I take it thou hast succeeded in thy mission, and yet thou art alone. Mistake me not, dear friend, full glad I am thy safe return. But where, pray, are Master Alphino and Mistress Alice? Here, my friend, forgive us our lateness, we took the scenic route. Bahamut is no more, the realm is safe. By the heavens, look at you! What horrors your young eyes have seen! What suffering your young bodies have borne! Pray, tell me, were you hurt? Your wounds must need be cleansed and dressed at once. I shall make for your poultice, which draweth out. Be at ease, my friend. We are hale and whole, I assure you. We took a few tumbles, but the worst of our hurts are healed. I believe we have grandfather to thank for that. Master Louisoix, then you met him once more. But wherefore should Bahamut's thralls seek to ease your suffering? I promise to reveal all in due course, dear friend, but first, there is a matter which requires our immediate attention. Now that Bahamut is defeated, we deem it best to bar entry to all the fragments of Dalamud. To this end, we will convince the nation's leaders that the danger is past, and invite their cooperation in ensuring the fragments are never again disturbed. Come, let us depart and seek an audience with them forthwith. A moment, sister. You need not burden yourself with the task. Urianger and I will more than suffice. Might you take this opportunity to rest? The gods know you've earned it. But I am fine, brother. Besides, you have been through as much as I have. Oh, I see now. You would play your game of diplomacy and wish me out of the way. No, Naught could be further from the truth, Alice. My lady, 'tis my earnest belief that your brother hath your best interest at heart. You have more than done your part, and he desireth you but to relieve you of burden he might easily bear alone. I have some experience treating with dignitaries, you must allow. And as you never fail to remind me of my fondness of diplomacy, I feel it only right that I remind you of your aversion to it. Then it is settled. Urianger, pray make arrangements for a chocobo carriage. The ride should give us ample time to prepare our story. Alphino! Though our paths are different, we share the same goal, do we not? But of course, dear sister, that which we have just achieved together stands as testament to the fact. Whatever path we choose to take, our heart shall ever lead us to the same end. Of that, I am certain. Thank you. There is a place I would visit. Might I ask you to accompany me? Yeah? But first, I do believe a change of garments is in order. I won't take a moment. The landscape is the same, of course. There is no reason that it would be otherwise. Though, it would be poetic for the fragments to magically disappear. I am well aware that they shall remain long after you and I are gone. The world may change irrevocably, but life shall ever go on. Let us take a closer look, shall we? I have no doubt that Alphino will do an admirable job concealing the truth of the calamity. And such truths as were revealed in those dark depths will never see the light of day. I myself agreed that it must be so. But for the thought that the people of Eorzea shall forever remain ignorant of their Savior, of your deeds, the injustice of it is almost too much for me to bear. That's all right. How typical of you, Monkey. Ever the hero. Even so, I cannot deny I feel the better for your reassurance. But I want you to know I will never forget. You are the one who freed Grandfather's soul and saved Eorzea from Bahamut's wrath. And though these great deeds will never be remembered in song, their consequences will ever be felt forevermore by every soul who calls this realm home. Yes, this spot will do. For Grandfather, Nail, and the dragons of Mercidia, for all those who were taken by the calamity. At long last our struggle with Bahamut is over. The realm, given new life through the prayers and sacrifices of countless souls, may look to a brighter tomorrow. When the dust of an adventure is settled, I shall embark on a journey. I mean to find my own reason to fight for Eorzea, and when I do, I will fight with all my being. You have done so much for me, Monkey. One day I hope to be able to repay you in kind. I have no doubt that you will continue to help those in need, and grow ever stronger in doing so. I shall endeavor to do the same, and if the 12 are kind, I hope one day to become Eorzea's sword in the darkness, as you are. Come what may, you may rest assured that I will not be outdone by Alphino. When we next meet, I promise that I will not disappoint you. Oh, you didn't disappoint me now. Till that day, fare thee well, my friend, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that is it. That is the Coils of Bahamut. I still have to do the Crystal Tower, and I'm going to look into New Game Plus about redoing the no audio. I might get a couple friends together to do the fights with me to get quicker queues, so I don't have to do them with the NPCs, and we will redo that. But this is a long enough video. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.